It's the reason some businesses seem to sell without ever selling. The audience just buys. There's no pressure, there's no pushy pledge. It almost looks effortless. And there's a reason other businesses beg for a sale and get ignored, even when their offer is just as good. The difference isn't the product, it's not the service, it's not the price, it's not even the marketing budget. It's one invisible system that's running quietly in the background. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Think about a real escalator for a second. You don't climb it, you don't work for it, you just step on and it carries you all the way to the top without even noticing the effort. That's exactly what businesses that sell effortlessly have built for their customers. It's called the Golden Escalator. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build one for yourself. I'm going to show you the psychology behind it, the 7 proven principles of influence that quietly power it, and one mistake, a mistake that almost every business makes. That makes marketing feel pushy and it kills sales before that even happens. The mistake is probably happening in your business right now. Stick around because I'm breaking it down first. Hi, I'm Billy. I'm a writer and digital strategist, and this is my channel. And we've got some stuff to get into today. Now, what is the Golden Escalator? The Golden Escalator is a system that guides your prospects, the people who buy from you, from the moment they first discover you all the way to the moment they're ready to buy. And it does this naturally. There's no pressure, no awkward, hard sell. At every single step, the next action feels like the obvious thing to do. That's not an accident, it's by design. Here's the goal in one sentence. Make each next step feel so natural and safe that your prospect can't even imagine not taking it. Now, here's why most marketing feels pushy. Most businesses make the same mistake. They ask for too much, too fast. Now picture this. You meet someone at a networking event, and within 60 seconds, they ask you to sign a contract for a phenomenal amount of money for you to pay them. Now, that would feel really weird, wouldn't it? It would be uncomfortable, maybe even a little bit insulting as you silently kind of glance around the room and look for the nearest exit or some escape route to get away from that person. But that's exactly what it feels like to a customer. And when a business jumps straight from, hey, look at me, to buy my $3,000 course, the Golden Escalator takes a completely different approach, however. Instead of pushing people towards a sell, it walks them up through a series of small, comfortable steps. Each one builds a little bit more trust. Each one creates a little bit more connection. This is called edu-marketing, which is a combination of marketing, but educating your customer as well. And by the time they reach the top, your offer, buying doesn't feel like a leap. It feels like a natural second move. So how do you actually build these steps? That comes down to doing something called micro commitments. And once you understand this, you'll never look at the sales funnel the same way again. And it's coming up right now. Let's take a moment and let's talk a little bit more about the power of micro commitments. A micro commitment is just a tiny action your prospect takes along their journey with you. And these tiny actions matter way more than most people realize. Here's why. When some people take a small action, they start to see themselves as invested in what you're offering. Psychologists call this behavioral consistency. Once a person does something small, they want their future actions to match it. They want to stay consistent with who they've already shown themselves to be. In plain terms, small actions lead to bigger actions. So, what a small micro commitment ladder looks like. Here's an example of what a ladder might look like in a real business. Someone watches a free YouTube video. They click a link to grab a free checklist. They sign up for your email list. They open a few of your emails. They register for a free webinar. They read a success story from a real customer. They buy a low-cost introductory offer. They watch a case study. And eventually, they upgrade into your flagship program. Now, look at that list again. None of those individual steps feels like a giant leap. Everyone is small, it's manageable, and it's almost effortless. But together, they move someone from a total stranger into a paying customer, and they feel good about every step along the way. And here's the key insight to remember: you're never asking someone to emotionally jump further than they're already ready to go. You're meeting them exactly where they are and then taking one small step forward together. In this journey, you're being a consultant. You're not pushing products and you're not trying to grab money. You're establishing the foundation to becoming a trusted advisor. But here's a question I haven't answered yet. Why do any of these steps actually work on the human brain? It's not a guess. There's a real decades deep psychological science behind it, and it comes from one researcher who spent his entire career studying why people say yes. Let's go ahead and break it down. Listen, quick pause. If this framework is kind of clicking and resonating with you, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It genuinely helps this content reach more business owners who need it. The 7 influence principles that power the escalator. Now, Robert Cialdini spent decades studying why people say yes. His research uncovered 7 proven principles that drive almost every human decision. Here's how each one shows up in the Golden Escalator. Social proof. Now, when people don't know what to do or people are confused or uncertain, they look to what others do when they're unsure how to go forward. When a prospect sees people like them that have already taken the step and succeeded, their fear shrinks and their confidence grows. So you want to be sure to use testimonials, case studies, screenshots of real results, and stories from happy customers throughout your escalator. The message your prospects hears is simple. If it worked for people like me, it can work for me too. Number 2, reciprocity. When someone gives us something valuable, we feel a natural urge to give something back. That's reciprocity, and it's wired deep into human nature. Deliver real, useful value before you ever ask for a purchase. Free trainings, checklists, templates. When you consistently give value up front, your prospects stop seeing you as a business trying to take their money, but they start seeing you as someone who genuinely wants to help them. Number 3, authority. People trust and follow experts. When you demonstrate real knowledge and experience, people lower their guard. Share specific data, teach organized frameworks, use case studies with measurable outcomes. Compare these 2 statements. I think this approach works pretty well versus after studying thousands of customer journeys, we found patterns that reliably increase conversions by 30% or more. Now, the second one does not brag, but it demonstrates. And that's the difference between claiming authority and actually earning it with your prospects. Principle number 4, scarcity and urgency. There's an uncomfortable truth. Most people who say, I'll think about it, they never come back. Not because they didn't want it. Life just got in the way. Scarcity gives your prospect a real reason to act right now. Expiring bonuses, limited enrollment windows, replays that disappear after a deadline. These all work, but only when they're real. Faint countdown timers destroy trust second a prospect catches on. Ethical urgency creates momentum. Manufactured pressure creates resentment. Principle number 5, liking. We buy from people we like, and we like people who feel real and human, not polished, untouchable gurus. Share the messy parts of your journey, the mistakes, the lessons that only come after frustration. When your audience sees your struggles, they think, this person gets it. They've been where I am. That connection is more persuasive than any sales tactic you could ever write. That's why when you see me stumble or make me make mistakes and then I go back and just apologize for it, there's no need for me to put on airs or do it ego. We're all human. But I also don't want you to look at me as someone who's untouchable. I'm learning and growing just like you. It can be a powerful part of your brand. So please consider that incorporating into your business. Principle number 6, commitment and consistency. This ties directly back to those micro commitments that I just talked about. Once someone takes a step, they want to stay consistent with that action. That's why the sequence of steps in your escalator matters so much. Each small action makes the next one feel natural. Your prospect isn't just moving through a funnel, they're becoming someone who takes action, who invests with their own growth. By the time they reach your offer, buying isn't a leap, it's just the next logical step in a sequence they've already started. Principle number 7, unity. This is the most advanced principle and the most overlooked. Unity doesn't just influence a decision, it shapes identity. You're not just selling a product, you're inviting your prospect into a tribe of people who share the same values and goals. The message shifts from buy this product to this is what people like us do. I'm the kind of business owner who builds systems instead of chasing clients. I'm someone who uses automation to create predictable revenue. When your offer aligns with the person your prospect wants to become, the decision to buy becomes almost automatic. Those 7 principles are the engine behind the escalator. But there's a second layer of tools, the grease that keeps that engine running smooth. And one of them might be the most underrated tool in all of that content marketing. Let's get into it. Additional tools that strengthen the escalator. Future pacing. Now, future pacing means helping your prospect emotionally experience the outcome of your offer before they've even bought it. You're not describing a product, you're painting a picture of their future. You're painting a picture of their future. For example, imagine waking up tomorrow, checking your phone, and seeing 3 qualified leads book calls with you overnight automatically while you were asleep. When a prospect can feel the outcome, they're not just buying a course, they're buying that feeling. Open loops. An open loop is an unfinished story, a question without an answer yet. Our brains are wired to crave closure, which creates a natural pull to keep engaging. You can use open loops at the end of emails, videos, or webinar segments. Something like, tomorrow, I'll show you the single biggest mistake that destroys your webinar conversion rates. And it's probably not what you think. That single sentence creates instant curiosity. And by the way, that's exactly the technique I've been using throughout this entire video to keep you watching. Cognitive ease. Now here's a rule that applies to every single part of the escalator. Complexity stops people. Simplicity moves them forward. When your prospect feels confused, they don't ask questions, they just quietly disappear. So break big ideas into small steps. Use plain language. Cut every choice and every element that doesn't directly help your prospect move forward. Momentum and the pattern interrupt. Once someone is in motion, they tend to stay in motion. And every email they open, every video they watch, strengthens the habit and deepens the relationship. That's why getting that very first click matters so much. It's the ignition that starts the whole engine. But before any of that can happen, you need to earn attention in the first place. So that's what a pattern interrupt does. An unexpected headline, a bold statement, a surprising stat that makes someone stop scrolling. Something like, most marketing advice is completely wrong, and following it is probably why your funnel isn't converting. That stops the scroll. That also opens the door. Now, all of these tools are powerful, but there's one thing you need to understand before you go build any of this, or it can all backfire on you. The big picture, it's about trust, not tricks. If there's one thing you take away from the video, let it be this. The Golden Escalator is not about manipulation. Every principle, every tool we covered today only works long-term when it's built on genuine value and honest communication. The moment you use these tools to deceive or pressure people, you destroy the exact thing the escalator is designed to create: trust. Used the right way, the Golden Escalator does something remarkable. It removes the fear your prospect feels about taking the next step with you. It shows them that others have already succeeded, and it delivers real value before you ever ask you for anything in return. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing at all. It feels like the right solution showing up at exactly the right moment. That's what the Golden Escalator is built to create. Now, what's next? Now you understand how to engineer a frictionless customer journey. The next step is building the very first piece of content that puts your prospect onto that escalator. And I'll be covering exactly how to do that soon. Oh, and listen, if you're wanting to build an automated system that converts leads into paying clients, you just need the blueprint. I've mapped out the entire Everflow architecture for you. Click the link in the description area or in the pinned comment in the comment section below and download the complete 9-step Everflow roadmap. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. If this video helped you see your marketing differently, hit that like and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to help this content reach more business owners who need it. Also, drop a comment and let me know which one of these 7 principles do you think you're using the least in your business right now. I'll be reading through and replying. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.